Midbis, I said no intro. Don't make me get the Dark Star out. To kick off part 3, we have probably the most elegant of all Pokemon, as well as one of my favorite Hoenn water types, Milotic. Now, what can I say about Milotic? Well, let's start with her appearance. Seriously, just look at Milotic. She looks like a Rhyperior that took way too many beauty pills. Now, please acknowledge that even though I find Milotic beautiful, I am not one of those Milotic enthusiasts. The origin of Milotic is a tough one to describe. Some fans believe Milotic was based off the mythical sirens that attracted sailors with their haunting songs. Yeah, I doubt that. Milotic is most likely based on the extremely long, yet rarely encountered oarfish, which is very easy to see as their resemblance is staggering. In battle, Milotic is very useful. While her move pool is very unimpressive, her special defense gives even Blissey a good competition. I'm sure we all remember how much hell Wallace's Milotic gave us in Emerald. That there is a testament to her high special defense. Her special attack is also very impressive, reaching a maximum of 328. Not bad if you ask me. I also have to give mention to her ability, Marvel Scale. Marvel Scale raises the defense stat by 50% if the Pokemon is suffering from a status ailment. Wow, all I have to say is, Milotic's awesome. Rhyperior is a fucking tank. Seriously, he's one of the strongest physical fighters in Pokemon history. Rhyperior has the highest attack among all non-legendary ground-type Pokemon, the total being 416. That is crazy. Rhyperior also has the highest HP among all rock-type and ground-type Pokemon. Not that HP is massively important, but whatever. Rhyperior's move pool is also huge. One of my favorite things about Rhyperior is what he does on a regular basis. According to the Pokédex, Rhyperior shoots Geodudes from holes in its palms like missiles. Holy shit! Man, fuck the Hadouken! I'd rather use a Geodude! Wow, I really failed on that one. In a nutshell, the only true thing you can call Rhyperior is a beast. He's just a goddamn beast. And I love him for that. Time to do a barrel roll because up next is Hitmontop. If you're the kind of person that does not enjoy things spinning around in circles, you will obviously not like Hitmontop. I've always thought that Hitmontop just had a unique charm applied to him. Hitmontop spends his entire life upside down, balanced on that conspicuous point on top of his head. Like any Star Fox fan, every time I see Hitmontop at work, I always want to do a barrel roll. Woo! Well, that's enough of the barrel rolling. Let's talk about his stats. Out of the other Hitmon fighters, if that's what you want to call him, Hitmontop is the slowest and the most defensive. But keep in mind that he also has exceptionally high physical attack. So, he's pretty reliable. Also, let's not forget about his signature move. Hitmontop is the only known Pokemon that learns Triple Kick. Sure, it's not too strong, but it's still pretty cool. You just gotta love the way he spins around and around and... oh, I can't help it. Hit it, Peppy! Barrel roll, barrel roll, shoot the barrel, barrel roll, shoot the barrel, barrel roll, do a barrel roll, barrel roll, barrel roll, shoot the barrel, barrel roll, shoot the barrel, barrel roll, do a barrel roll. Up next, we have yet another fan favorite, Skarmory. To be honest, I completely understand why everyone likes Skarmory. When it comes right down to it, Skarmory is one tough bird. Being the placeholder for highest defense out of all flying types, Skarmory is one I highly recommend. So this begs the question, why is Skarmory so awesome? I'll tell you. He's a bird made of steel. Peter, enough of the crap, and go play some Call of Duty.
Is this a crouch button? Ah, who dropped the grenade? Idiot! We're gonna play! Moron! You suck!
Anyway, back to Skarmory. Being made of steel, Skarmory's defense is ridiculously high, maximum being 416. That is insane. Here's something I don't have footage for, but it's very interesting. Skarmory has kidnapped more Pokemon and people in the anime than any other Pokemon. It's kidnapped Jesse's Wobbuffet, May, and Azumarill, Meowth, and in the Mystery Dungeon Special, it also kidnapped Diglett, Pichu, and Pikachu. Wow, a persistent kidnapper of a Pokemon. Bowser would love Skarmory. And, honestly, I wouldn't blame him. It's been a while since a Unova Pokemon appeared on this list, so let's give some love to the mineral-compressed super tanker Gigalith. Now, just take a moment and say his name, Gigalith. That's one of the best Pokemon names I've heard since Typhlosion back in Gen 2. That's saying something right there. Being the only pure rock type to have a third evolution, Gigalith is definitely one of the best Gen 5 has to offer. As I mentioned earlier, Gigalith is a super tanker. His attack stat puts even Tyranitar to shame, and his defense trumps even the previously mentioned Crustle. But the most interesting thing about Gigalith is his Pokedex entry from Black. It says, compressing the energy from its internal core lets it fire off an attack capable of blowing away a mountain. Sweet lord, I would love to see that. As soon as your Roggenrola evolves into Boldore, I highly recommend evolving it immediately. Seriously, this Pokemon is one of the best rock types we've seen in a long time. Do any of you like army turrets? Do any of you like octopi? Then you'll love Octillery. Octillery is a living turret. Seriously, look at him. Just look at him. Octillery looks like the kind of thing that would defend Atlantis if there were anyone that would dare invade it. Out of every Pokemon ever, Octillery has my favorite move pool by far. With its turret-like head, Octillery is able to learn pretty much any move that ends with beam, as well as pretty much any projectile-like move. Let me name off some of his moves. Gunk Shot, Rock Blast, Psybeam, Aurora Beam, Bubble Beam, Signal Beam, Ice Beam, Hyper Beam, Energy Ball, Flamethrower, Sludge Bomb, Psychic, Charge Beam, Incinerate, and Flash Cannon. Damn! That's one awesome moveset. Also, Octillery is the only Pokemon that is able to learn Octazooka by leveling up. Interesting. One last thing. Doesn't Octillery look familiar? Doesn't he look like an enemy from another Nintendo franchise? What could it be?
Octorok!
Zelda reference for the win. Steamrolling its way to number 74 is the colossal and utterly awesome Scolipede. Weighing in at 442 pounds and standing 8 feet tall, Scolipede is the largest and heaviest bug Pokemon in existence. To me, Scolipede is the very best bug poison type you can possibly have. Because most bug poison types are average, so you don't really expect any strong ones. Scolipede in particular has a base stat total of 475, which may not sound too impressive, but it is if you consider what typing it is. Scolipede is pretty damn fast considering how big it is. His speed stat is the most impressive, reaching a maximum of 355. That rivals even Floatzel. Like all poison types, Scolipede can be very deadly on the battlefield. If you use Toxic to poison your opponent, you can then use Venoshock to deal twice the damage. Now, you can do this with a lot of Pokemon, thanks to the TM, but I feel it's better when the user is faster. Overall, if you have never really cared about bug poison types, you should reconsider that and give Scolipede a try. Unless you're stupid, he will not disappoint you at all. Another Gen 5 Pokemon? Come on, man, they suck! Well, get used to it, because Gen 5 is home to a lot of my favorites. Anyway, back to Maractus. Maractus is my second favorite Gen 5 grass type. Screw that little smugleaf bastard. Maractus was, and still is, part of my Gen 5 team. I love the way this thing looks. Her sprite animation makes it look like she's always waving high the whole time. Aww, how cute is that? Maractus looks like the love child of Cacturn and Peppy hair. Awesome, isn't it? If you want a Pokemon that will annoy the living fuck out of your opponent, Maractus is one of the best for that. You want to know what I'm talking about? I'll let you know how to make the perfect Maractus. First, you want your Maractus to have a bold nature. I repeat, bold nature. Have its ability be Storm Drain, that's its secret ability, which draws in all water type moves that will raise your special attack every time. Next, have it hold a Person Berry. Lastly, here's the moveset I recommend. Acupressure, Cotton Guard, Synthesis, and Petal Dance. For the first 2 turns, use Cotton Guard, which raises your defense stat by 3 levels every time. Then, spam Acupressure until every one of your stats is maxed out. And make sure to use Synthesis whenever you need to heal. Then, use Petal Dance. All that equals...
You're fucking dead.
Dusknoir is one twisted motherfucker. What, you don't believe me? Let me tell you what his special ability is. Dusknoir possesses the ability to receive radio waves from the spirit world and can also hold lost spirits in the mouth-like hole in its abdomen.
You know, for kids!
And they say Pokemon is for little kids. Not even enemies from Silent Hill do that. Dusknoir's Pokedex entry from Black and White claims that he just guides these spirits home. Yeah, right. I'm gonna call it right now.
Bullshit!
I mean, there's a reason why he's called the Gripper Pokemon. With all seriousness, Dusknoir is an awesome ghost type. Dusknoir has the highest base stat total of all the non-legendary ghost Pokemon, the total being 525. Dusknoir is also the placeholder for having the highest special defense of all ghost type Pokemon. I also like his move pool, mainly because he's the only Pokemon that can learn all 4 of the elemental punches, which are some kick-ass moves. Also, there's a funny thing about Dusknoir that I should mention. Take a look at the pattern on his chest. Now look at the pattern on his back. Oh, Game Freak, you clever, clever bastards. To end part 3 off, let's put in the very first prehistoric Pokemon shown for this list, Armaldo. Now, there's something you should all know about me. I love prehistoric creatures. And trust me, Armaldo will not be the last fossil Pokemon on this list. I guarantee you that. Based upon the ancient Anomalocaris, Armaldo is a 4-foot tall prehistoric shrimp with the ability to punch through a steel slab. Damn! I should warn you, the next time you eat shrimp, make sure you look twice. After all, you don't want to take a bite out of something that knows crushed claw. In battle, Armaldo is one you don't want to fuck around with. His physical stats are very, very high. His attack can get as high as 383. His defense can also get as high as 328. So make sure you be careful when fighting one of these things. Here's a cool thing to note. In addition to all his bug and rock moves, Armaldo can even learn some water moves. That's pretty cool. Now, is it just me, or does Armaldo look like a mantis shrimp? He kinda does, doesn't he? Well, now I know what to nickname my Armaldo next time.
The Thumb Splitter.